Problems are solved in different ways. Some uncertainty day after day goes over the possible options and does not dare to implement one of them, while someone solves the problem quickly and immediately, like the heroine of the story, Sam. Alex slept peacefully, turned on his side facing Sam. Unlike Alex, Sam was awake. She practically did not sleep a wink all night. No, at times she switched off, fell asleep, but after a short period of time she woke up, as if from a shock. The thought of what she was going to do in the near future tormented her, haunted her. As soon as dawn broke, Sam gave up her fruitless attempts to sleep. Alex, as if on purpose, turned to face her, and she looked with melancholy tenderness into her beloved, painfully familiar face. They got married right after graduating from medical school, and together went to work in a small town on assignment. At the hospital, young specialists were received with open arms. The staff has long lacked a surgeon and anesthesiologist. The housing issue was resolved quickly. At first they received a service apartment, but after a couple of years they already moved into their own housing, built with the help of a bank loan. Alex and Sam live happily and amicably. But 3 years later, after unsuccessfully trying to get pregnant, Sam lost her peace. Alex was also nervous, but didn't show his face. Sam went through all sorts of tests. They all ended with encouraging conclusions. She is healthy and can have children. You don't have to go to a fortune teller to understand it's all about Alex. Problems with conceiving because of him. Still, Sam made an important decision not to tell Alex about the doctor's findings. She understood how painfully the medical verdict would hit her husband's pride, his self-confidence. And most of all, she was afraid of Alex's decision to divorce her. She knew that her husband would explain this care of her, about her happiness. By taking after visiting a specialized clinic, in which Sam made an appointment, she burst into tears right on the porch. Metropolitan doctors one-to-one confirmed the conclusion of the provincial doctors. She is healthy and can have children. Why is fate so cruel? After all, he and Alex love a friend. Sam could not imagine her life without Alex. She understood that fate would not give her such a loving, caring husband for the second time. Yes, and she loves her husband, and cannot imagine life without him. But to live life without children? She could not believe in such a bleak prospect, and come to terms with it. Wimps don't go to surgeons. The surgeon has to make important decisions in a split second, on which the patient's life depends. Sam has been in a similar situation once, and so far no mistakes have happened. But it turns out that it is much more difficult to understand your life than to repair the internal organs of patients. Sam walked down the sidewalk toward the hotel, tears in her eyes. Suddenly I heard a voice. Sam, it's you? She shuddered, peered at the man who stood in her way. Tom, are you? She smiled through her tears. Then who? The former classmate smiled deeply. I got out of the car, decided to drop by a cafe, and then had such a meeting. Sam in person. Less than 10 years after the prom. Yes, I came to the courses. Tomorrow is already home. Ah, I thought you lived here. And I live here, working in a decent office. Well done. Married, for some reason, asks Sam. During school years, she and Tom were friends, together in school, together from school. They shared some secrets, but the friendship remained friendship. We graduated from school, went to study in different cities, and the friendship ended. Not now. Divorced. I have a daughter, who is 4 years old. See you on weekends, Tom said sadly. Sorry. Why there? Sam, let's go to the cafe, sit. Come on. It seemed that he and Tom were not parting. It was as easy to communicate with him as it was during school years. Tom called someone, spit something and happily told Sam that today he is a free bird, all at her disposal. Sam, this news strained at first, and then a crazy thought flew into his head. What if you try with Tom? A friend after all, not nasty. And no one will know. I'm leaving tomorrow, that's all. It's time to put your plan into action. Now or never. The surgeon decided, the surgeon did. From the cafe they moved to the restaurant, and then she was visiting Tom. Tom did not believe the happiness that had fallen down. Sam, for whom he always had tender feelings, but was afraid to admit it to her, is with him today. How beautiful, gentle and passionate she is. Tom fell asleep as a happy man. However, his happiness did not last long. In the morning, as in the cheapest melodrama, I saw a note on the pillow. Tom, I'm sorry. You are wonderful, kind and gentle. I am leaving home to my husband. Don't look for me, Sam. Beloved, how I miss you. Alex passionately hugged and kissed his wife right on the station platform. Sam hugged her own shoulder, trying to hold back her tears. The plan worked. A month later, 2 strips on the pregnancy test brought Sam into indescribable delight, although it hurt a little deep in her heart, but she did not allow herself to darken the long-awaited joy with involuntary memories. And 8 months later, Alex happily met her with her newborn son from the hospital. Many were jealous of their family happiness. The son grew up smart and handsome. Oddly enough, he looked like Alex, and Alex doted on his wife and child. Sam never met Tom again.